Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Galactic Ambition, a Star Wars Unlimited podcast, part of the Main Deck Podcast family. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jason, and I was going to make a joke when we recorded in like 3 months from now that we're back with like the blue milk from the grocery store because we're absentee and now we're back. But this is the third week in a row we're here, or third episode in a row.
Yep.
Where's the confetti?
Yeah, I know. There should be a giant celebration. No, it's just great. It's just good. I'm glad we're getting back into a routine. We're gonna do everything we can.
Yeah,
to keep it going.
I'm really excited. I know that you've had a lot of things go on with sectors while we were gone, and that's gonna be a lot of fun to talk about. But I had a really funny story for everybody to kind of lead us into everything. I didn't even tell you about this.
All right, let's go.
It's we'll see how funny it is. So a couple days ago at work, and for those who don't know much about myself and Dan, although you know some about us, we both work in LGSs, as Dan's wonderful dungeon-esque background will tell you, especially with the darkness lighting this time is.
Well, yeah. We're getting a little more dramatic with the lighting right now.
So yeah, for sure. Anyway, we put pre-orders up a little late for the newest set because we didn't know how much we were getting. Whatever, we're figuring that out. We finally figured out what we were getting, put our pre-orders up, and I had some customers come in, and I'm just talking to them, and it's the middle of the afternoon on a Wednesday, so it's like, in my head, I'm like, oh, these people are here for Pokemon, they're here for Magic, whatever. Then they look up at the top at the Star Wars stuff, like, oh yeah, I play Star Wars Unlimited, I love that game, I travel to all these things, and I think it's really awesome. And they're like, you guys seem to support that really well here. And I'm like, yeah, we have a lot of stuff. My boss, who I enjoy and love very deeply, has a tendency to kind of have a heavy hand on ordering. But anyway, it's like one of the first few things you see when you look over to the right at our displays is all this Star Wars stuff. And I'm like, yeah, the game's a lot of fun. I was actually at the Galactic Championships, and it was a lot of fun. And I actually record content for the game. Like, you record content? I'm like, yeah, I do. And they're like, I'm like, yeah, what's the name? They're like, I was like, oh yeah, it's Galactic Ambition. It's a podcast. They're like, oh, I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I kind of listened to see what's going on. I said, well, we barely heard of it ourselves either. but if they're listening now, we 100% have a new viewer and their buddy. So there's at least 2 new viewers.
Let's go.
I forgot their names, but they were very nice people. But it was just so funny because I was like, yeah, we used to record a lot, and then a lot of life things happen. We're very busy individuals in the TCG the scapes that we are in, and I'm just cursed.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before, but you are literally the most cursed person I've ever met.
Yeah, I'm the definition of falling up the stairs.
I
make my way one day at a time, but things are going really good. And I just thought it was a fun interaction because they mentioned, they're like, oh yeah, I'm on the Star Wars Unlimited Facebook page and stuff like that. And that's what kind of led into the conversation about the content that we create that they didn't know about. But that was really cool.
That is cool. And I was going to say, with the falling up the stairs, Jason, it's a little more like falling up the escalator with your promo held in hand.
Oh man,
we never told people about that story. I don't know.
We could tell everybody real quick. Okay, so going back. Oh man, Galactics. If you are in the judge program at all, whenever there is a large scale event, there's typically a judge meetup that Jonah and the rest of the staff hold to kind of just like a town hall, almost talk about the current state of what's going on in the program. People could ask questions. But you always get promos, and it was really cool. In Galactics, there were so many of us. So, like, we were just trying to get our stuff, get out the door. There's a lot of people, right? So I grab my promos, and I'm just walking with the guys and go up the escalator. And I have my promos in my hand. And, all right, I don't know how many people do this around an escalator, but I feel like you have to put your hand on the rail as it goes up.
You don't. You don't.
But I feel like you have to. At least in my brain, you do. So I put my hand down and get up to the top escalators. I'm walking a little bit, and I look, and I don't have my promos. I don't have one of my promos. And I'm like, all right, so I have one. So you get 2. it was either Luke or Vader at this event. And then one of, I think it was the Wave 1 or 2 Judge promos, I think. Yeah. Either way, mine was an Avenger. What we think happened is the escalator ate it because I put my hand on the bar, and I think the escalator just said, well, this is mine now because it's going this way, my hand's this way, and if I'm not holding on to my cards well enough, it just says, whoop. Yeah.
Yeah. So gone. And the Luke or Vaders are like the Gen Con, like
the ones we got
non-foil hyperspace Luke. Those are like, what are they, like $10 or $15 at most or something? I don't know.
Something like that.
At one point they were a lot more, but now they're not. The Avengers more like $80 to $100 promo, I think.
I don't need that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Apparently I didn't need it, but
you went up to Randy, one of our judge friends.
Oh yeah.
And you just walked up to him and said, so, who was just at the meeting? You're like, yeah, so we were all bad news on the promo front.
And that's just been like,
that's been the meme.
The meme of anything. Bad news is, it is what it is. Things happen for a reason. And the reason was just to me lose $100. I think that was the reason.
So it made me think of it when we said, Jason, you're a very cursed individual.
I am.
But you know what? You put on a good face and you smile and you make everyone happy, and you always are getting back from like Galactics or whatever big event. You're like giving all your stuff away to the locals, and you have a big heart, and that's why we love you here.
Hopefully not like a medical big heart thing.
Well,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not.
Did you just put that out there?
Let's not take the curse too far.
Honestly, I do. A lot of the stuff I do is to give back. So it's a lot of fun to come back from these big events and give everything away. And, it's fun. It's fun. And, in the long run, it's worth it more than anything else. It gives some significance to my time on this mortal coil.
I love that way of looking at it. It's that's beautiful. That's awesome. And yeah, speaking of getting back from events, our main topic today, as you probably saw in the title, so we're going to be talking about sector qualifier. I just got back from the Portland one, and we're gonna have, I think, just a little bit of an interesting discussion. I think we're planning on not having a super long episode today. Just going to dive in a little bit to my experience judging that sector, kind of like the Denver episode that we did before, but just going to be me talking about some of that stuff, as Jason's been a little too busy with other stuff to make it to some of these sectors. I mean, when they were scheduled like a month in advance and on 2 weeks next to each other, it's tough. But we're going to talk specifically about strategy, and not for playing the game, but at this event, I only judged for day one. So day two, I tried to make the most of the day getting prize wall tickets, because that's what you want to do, especially with the new system of promos where you can get those additional like silver packs and potentially, like I did really well on my silver packs that I got. I got a lot of the command, cunning, vigilance, aggression cards, the aspect legendaries. And you're going to want to get as many as you can with the amount of time you have. And what I found in the events I played in, was that a lot of people I talked to didn't know the tricks. They didn't really know what they should be doing to get the most tickets. And so we thought it'd be kind of an interesting little thing to talk about as far as like the way Star City Games at least runs these events, the ones that take place in North America, and how they give out tickets, and just kind of provide just a little bit of a, some basic, here's how we do it. Maybe it's something that can help you make the most of the sectors or regionals you attend in the future. But before that, Jason, because Secrets of Power is coming very soon, and probably by the time we have another episode, we might even have a bunch of content on Secrets of Power specifically.
Yeah.
We wanted to also just get a little bit of discussion, not too much, but just a little bit about a couple of leaders from Secrets of Power that we're really excited about. Jason, I don't know if you want to start this conversation. Sure. Because a leader came out that when I saw it, I was like, this has to be Jason's favorite leader of all time. It's like everything Jason loves in a leader. You want to talk about Cassian Andor?
It is pretty much everything I love in a leader. So a little backstory. Way back at the beginning, I think my favorite leader, it's not known by maybe a lot of other people, was Chirrut. I love Voltron-esque strategies, no matter how bad they are in games. So this Cassian kind of blends into that. So to talk about Cassian, he is the aggression heroism leader. His leader side says friendly units that have damaged opponent's base cannot be attacked this phase unless they have Sentinel. I want to talk about that before we talk about the flip side, because this is the side that actually intrigues me the most.
Mm.
What a wild ability. We kind of like leader abilities are so all over the place this set in like a variety of really cool ways. Friendly units that have damaged an opponent's base that cannot be attacked this turn is like an aggro player's dream outside of just things dealing more damage, right? It allows us to attack with our threats while keeping the initiative, which is thematic with this leader, as we'll talk about, and just kind of punching with that, with taking a form of removal out of your opponent's play strategy, which is really sick. Because a lot of removal in this game is just me attacking into your unit after doing your punch, especially aggro decks, right? I'm going to swing for 7, 8, or 9 after buffing this unit with whatever. Okay, and then there's going to run into it. Now my 9 power guy is gone, but I basically fireballed my opponent's base for 9. This kind of lends to that strategy of saying, okay, well, I have the initiative. I was going to probably attack anyway. Cool. If I could keep this initiative tempo, I could probably get more value out of our high value aggressive units, or even just early aggressive tempo unit plays. Just kind of keep pressure on your opponent and kind of putting them in this checkmate of maybe ending their turn sequence in a way they don't want to by taking the initiative early, so they can, I have to kill this card next turn. I have to find a way to interact with this in a favorable way, maybe get a Sentinel down before they do this, something like that. So that alone is such a layer to the game that hasn't been explored yet, and is one of my favorite ways to play, is just turning things sideways. This rewards you differently for turning your stuff sideways, right?
Yeah. And like a lot of leaders in the game, like historically, have been really about what kind of material advantage can be provided. This puts experience counters on things. This draws cards, this minus is some, like whatever, like what kind of physical visceral thing can I impact on the game to provide advantage. And we have a number of leaders in this set. We have a couple of leaders that are really like, here's sort of like I'm going to change how people play in some way or another without giving just like a firm, it's a card in hand, it's a buff on board, it's a damage on board or whatever, it's a counter of some kind. This is so interesting to me because it's really hard to gauge how good it is. The thing that like devil's advocate thing I think about Cassian is, well, you don't want to attack your opponent's exhausted things. You ideally are always attacking their unexhausted things.
Sure.
They're things that are ready to attack, because when you attack an exhausted thing, it did damage when it attacked, and it did damage when it was attacked. And so you doubled the value on the thing, and you also didn't prevent damage that was going to come into you a little later in the turn. But at some point you have to clear boards. Cassian can go, if Cassian goes wide, your opponent's going to be able to just like freely attack into things that haven't attacked yet. And they're going to kind of play around the quote unquote value that Cassian provides. But when you're playing a deck that's like, okay, my deck is 12 copies of things like Hot Shot Blaster, Surprise Strike, even like Ahsoka's Padawan Lightsabers, right? A card that I've really enjoyed playing when I've messed around with aggro Ahsoka. When I just go like, okay, I played a thing turn 1, and then turn 2, I hot shotted it and attacked you. Now, again, you can't attack into it. It's going to last another turn. And instead of putting something on board and going wider, I just went taller and pushed for more damage and made a thing that you can't deal with unless you are playing the other sources of dealing with it. And I have to shout out to Cassian Unit in this deck, which is like, Cassian Unit is this card that new legendary that from the set we talked about last episode, but like you have to go, you really want to go tall with this thing to make it as strong as possible. And if you play it in Cassian Leader, they can't even like try and, okay, fine, I got to end this. I got to attack my big thing into it. You've already attacked, but hot shotting it or whatever. And what are they going to do? You just go tall and you're kind of rewarded on both sides. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's really, really, again, one of those things that I enjoy about the game is adding an extra layer to the game. And this is like the definition of one of those cards, right? Where it's just like, okay, now there's a element that you're not normally accustomed to add to the game to mess with your decision path, which is just really exciting to me. But he flips like all leaders do. He deploys at 6, and for your trouble, you get a 6/2 that says, as long as you have the initiative, Cassian cannot be defeated by enemy abilities or by HP being less than 0, which calls back to Cheer in set 1, one of my favorite cards. It's a 6/2 with Overwhelm, by the way, which is really beefy stat line in terms of power. The 2 is one of those things that you got to get with a card like this, right? This can't deploy as like a 6/5 or a 6/6 because that's just way too much going on. But what if it can? We have plot in this set, right?
Yeah, we do.
So what if we had upgrades that plot, like maybe Armor of Fortune or something like that, right? Giving yourself 3 more toughness. Making this card live outside the scope of his hit points is gonna be the crux of this card. You can get a lot of damage in with this card. You can cash out your 6/2 kind of mad dash, say snap initiative and try to kill it, or have lethal damage marked on it and it dies once you lose the initiative. But I think that there's game to giving this more toughness in unique ways like plot, or ways where you can kind of grow it incrementally while progressing our game state, is going to make this leader a problem. Now, do I think this is a great card? Not really, no. I'm excited for this card because I'm an aggressive player and I love cards like this. But the mental anguish it puts on your opponent to deal with this card pays it off in spades for me. Might as well be my favorite card in the set.
Yeah, and like it wasn't just the fact that this is a leader that's going to like encourage you to attack base and go aggro, or it wasn't just that it was a leader that flipped into literally like Chirrut's text, other than the initiative thing. But that it was also the fact that Jason, literally in the last episode, we were talking about Dedra, and you were like, I love when I make my opponent make a hard decision. And this leader has this thing where you flip him, and once he gets 2 damage or more, if you buff him up or whatever, but once he gets lethal amount of damage on him, your opponent now has, at any point, they can go, well, if I take the initiative, he dies. But they have to then obviously take the initiative and potentially give up whatever else they're doing and let you, just free reign attack with your units or whatever. And it just creates this game like that you love, this extra layer of like mind game psychology. I was like, I read this card. I was like, it's everything about this is like it's got to be Jason's favorite card. It's so sweet.
It is. It is my favorite leader in the set. Jabba was close without getting too much into detail with him. I think that's a card that has a lot of wild applications once we see how the meta shakes down. But man, what a cool card. It's going to be a lot of fun to mess around with. I know I will be diving right into that and probably losing games because I did something wrong and didn't keep the initiative. But, stuff like that is whatever. I'm excited to play with this card. Dan, but you have a leader you want to talk about.
Yeah, and we did talk about this a little bit in my spoiler video, the spoilers that we put out for First Light, and obviously the best card in the set, Raxian Assembly.
Yeah.
Goes a shout out to, again, our judge friend Randy, who pointed out Count Dooku gets to put out that Raxian Assembly on turn 2.
That's crazy.
Okay,
wow.
Well, so buy your Raxian Assemblies now.
Get in there now. Yeah.
Count my words. Count Dooku, Lake Country. It's going to go hard. It's going to go hard. It's going to be.
That's why no one knows about this.
That's seriously though. I've already been jamming games with this deck. Dryden Voss. I love this leader. I am like the world's #1 Kylo Reanimator fan from back in set 2. Really fell off in playability just because things got a little stronger overall and couldn't quite keep up. But I've been jamming this deck, and I'm going to say kind of similar to Cassian. I don't know that Dryden Voss is going to be a tier 1 deck. I'm not going to say like it's an unplayable deck. I think Dryden can win PQs. I think Dryden is like a playable leader, but kind of like Cassian, it's like I'm not sure the like real like obvious oomph like is there to pull him over into like, yeah, this is the Galactic metagame, like it's going to be Dryden's, you know, I don't think that's the case, but I really love playing him. I think he's really fun. I think he's way better than some people thought he was. He's not bad at all. He's solid. So anyway, I should probably say Dryden Voss is a command villainy leader with a flip on 7 and the ability on his front side to exhaust him and then discard a card with cost 6 or greater to then play something and give it ambush. Play something cost 5 or less and give it ambush specifically. So I love this because it is a command leader that has a discard ability built in, which is the thing that the sort of Palpatine's Return Reanimator focus deck has been missing in the game, where we've had to rely on leaders like Kylo Ren. They set 2-1 just to have a built-in, like always have access to a discard effect to be able to like pitch like a big force unit, like an Emperor Palpatine was the thing you would do in that deck. And then Palpatine's Return Palpatine into play to get that cheap, like boom, affect the board and kind of like ride that advantage to victory. Now we can do it in command. And the fact that we have that in command allows us to open up to not just like red green as a combination. I have tried yellow green, by the way. I did a Dr. Afra profile and like, that's just like rolling the dice and they are very weighted dice towards not you. This is rough. And I thought about doing blue Kylo Reanimator, but it's just, you're not getting any value at all out of that. And obviously we found way better things to do than that. But man, Dryden's fun. And that ambush ability on 5-drops is pretty solid. There are some pretty good units that you can ambush into play with this. I found that the obvious one everybody talked about is Darth Maul from set 3. Boom, kill 2 things. It's been pretty sweet. It's good. Rook also from set 1 slides in, kills anything, then shields himself if it wouldn't kill him in return, or shields himself before the damage to then kill whatever big thing. That's also cool too. I really like, I think it's actually I have to pull it up now. I think it's Punishing One from the new set. Yeah. So there's a new, it's really funny. The art on this is like really similar to the first Punishing One art. I mean, what do you do? It's a ship.
I mean, it's
Punishing One takes no prisoners is a 5-drop aggression 3/5 underworld vehicle transport, gains raid 1 for each damage enemy unit, and then has when played /on attack, which is the text one of the lines of text I look for on ambush when we can give things ambush. So when played /on attack, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. So this thing's been really sweet actually in space. It's really flexible because when you ambush it in, you get the when played, deal 1 damage to something, and then the on attack, deal 1 damage to something, which means you can like ping 2 separate things to make it raid 2 if that's all that's on the board, to deal 5 to something, or you can double ping the ship you're attacking so that it's taken 2 damage, and then you get the raid 1. So then you are raid your forward power, so it's 6 damage to that thing. Or if there's other damage things that your opponent has, then it, then it can get even bigger, and it can slide in and kill a lot of stuff, or spread the damage around or whatever. Like this has been, I found like another really good option for ambushing in, and when we don't have a ton of great ones at that cost and space. Like overall, that's all been really good. Plus, I'm just like pitching Palpatines, and then Palpatine's returning the next turn. And then when you flip Dryden flips on 7, flips into a 5/7 with that. What's actually a crazy ability now? You can just pitch anything, discard any card to give anything ambush. And so then you can be like, cool, like flip the Dryden, play the first light with plot, kill something in space. Then next turn, if Dryden survives, it's pitch anything to like reinforcement walker, crash in, like double trigger, like, yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. I really like this deck. I'm having a ton of fun exploring it. And I've seen some other people playing Dryden Red, Dryden Blue. I see you guys out there. I love it. We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, just like Cassian was the leader for me, this is definitely one of those leaders for you. where it's
Yeah.
just like one of those cards that saw that. And when we were talking about our spoilers, like, oh, no wonder why you're so excited. It's really sweet. And it's definitely right up your alley with that kind of reanimator nonsense that you like to get into.
I've had hands with the deck I'm building right now with green red. I've had like 10 card hands.
That's sweet.
There are card draw engines in this game that are unexplored, honestly, and I am really excited to show the profile once I've really gotten happy with the current build. It's going to be one of my first profiles on the channel, so if you want to see that, stay tuned.
Nice.
If Jason has a cool Cassian build, Jason, I'd love to profile your Cassian as well.
Yeah, we're going to be brewing next week. I think me and a couple friends, I'm actually going to be off, and we're going to kind of mess with some cards and just kind of actually get in there and kind of see. So I'm really excited. This is a really fun set that I'm really excited. Pre-releases are coming up. I'm really getting amped up for that and excited. But before that, we're going to get to what we were talking about, what you wanted to talk about, your sector experience. So yeah, you had some sectors you were going to do that you so graciously talked about, said that I couldn't go.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it was kind of a bummer. There's a lot going on, you know, and the announcement wasn't great for it, you know, being one right after the other. But yeah, that is, my phone is not on silent. New phone. A new phone.
New phone, who dis?
New phone, who this? And so Dan, tell us about what happened at your sector experience. Talk about your judging first. Obviously, that's the first thing you did.
Yeah. So I was really lucky to be chosen to judge the sector because currently we have like a lot of judges for the game. Very good judges. A lot I've worked with. They're awesome. And not a lot of spots to judge. So it's a challenge. If you're out there and on the judge grind like us, let me know in the comments. Let me know, like, your experience so far. It's tough to get chosen for these things. So I was very lucky to be able to do this. And this is my third like major, so that I can, I'm getting ready to apply for L2 now. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. Once I have a little bit of time to make sure I'm like all brushed up and ready to go for the test. I hear the test is,
I've been studying too.
I hear it's a lot harder. So, I'm looking forward to that. But as always, so this was another sector in NA put on by Star City Games. Star City absolutely kills it. The way they support the judges, incredible. Everything that they're trying to do to make the event great. I just really appreciate that. The compensation's really good. Like that's all great. There were issues with this set of sectors and regional with promos and logistics and everything. I think the whole thing is because everything was planned way too late. I think that's what happened. Absolutely. I don't know the story. I really think that FFG was like all in on Galactics. And then afterwards it was like, we got to get things going for season 1. And everything just ended up like just one, you know, I know myself from planning events, there's just one thing after another ends up like becoming a problem. And so I think everything got planned really late. And then we had the events and the promos were shipping and it just like, it just got, we weren't quite far enough in advance. I know for a fact that FFG has gotten the message. Right. I am, I'm very hopeful that the next season doesn't have these kind of problems, these logistical problems, because I now have to wait to receive the judge promos, the Yaddle and the Anakin and stuff, because those weren't available for everyone. On the plus side, they gave every attendee an extra silver pack, which was really nice. That was a nice, especially because the silver pack's like average value is like $60, I think, sweet, per silver pack. Which, by the way, that's why we're going to talk about strategies, because when you can turn those prize ball tickets into that's pretty good.
Yeah, I want those.
That's pretty good value. So, so like they were doing what they could. They're providing the silver packs and everything. But yeah, I mean, like I'm not going to dwell on that because it's logistical issues. It's a known thing, and hopefully it's just fixed for next time. But otherwise, I mean, I really like, all I could say is that I worked with, I was on the side event staff this time, which was the first time I did sides. And there, it was like, it's a lot more of a kind of a cluster dealing with all those events running at the same time and trying to manage them than just being on the floor for the main event. Fewer crazy things happen, obviously, like fewer insane calls.
Yeah.
We did have one. I had a couple like really interesting calls that maybe we'll save for a future episode. We'll save them up for some like judge call segments. I'm still waiting. I need to get a video done for our, like a little stinger for a judge call segment that we teased 6 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll save some of those because those will be really fun, I think, to talk about in the future. But just for brevity today, because we're trying to do a little bit of a shorter one, that we'll talk about this later. But when you're on side events, it's like I want to give a shout out to all of the patient players who were at these side events for Portland, because the side event crew, we had a lot on our plate. We were just trying to get things rolling, rocking and rolling as fast as possible. And there were little hiccups. You know, one person walks away with the event packs, not the event packs, the prize wall tickets.
Prize wall tickets, yeah.
Walks away with the prize wall tickets, and then Star City tries to be very, very clean and not give out too many tickets so that the exact economy is kind of maintained. So it's like we gotta figure out where to get prize wall tickets, because we don't know where the judge, they walked on their break and like had them, and like, we got to figure it out. Like, it's stuff happens. It's not a big deal at all, you know. It's like, then that's the kind of stuff that leads into us like kind of running around, like trying to manage things while we have like 2 on-demands that are running and need pairing, and then a spotlight event thing, and then we're trying to get ready to keep getting people asking like, hey, when's this starting? Like, yeah. But it's cool. It's fun. I really like being able to help people have fun for the event, which is what it's really about. Yeah. And Jason, you did a lot of side events at Galactics, right? Like, and Galactics was way bigger, but what was your experience like?
A lot of the same thing. The beauty of side events at Galactics, though, we had the benefit of having infinitely more people.
Yeah.
On the day I was on it, day one apparently was a nightmare for those guys, and I feel for them. But by the time I was sent over there, the rest of the cavalry, we had a lot of bodies, but it was kind of like a lot of the same things, right? If someone had the event tickets, you had to track that person down, and you don't know everybody. You know, it was a very large staff, so you're just like, okay, and then making sure people would be there when their pod was ready. Good Lord, you have 7 people and you're looking for the other person, trying to find. It's like, come on, but I get it, and these things kind of happen. But it was a lot of the same. On a larger scale, but since we had more bodies, it was kind of refined. We were by day 3, it was really just turn them over, keep going, turn them over.
Yeah, I will say that I definitely felt going into it like my lack of experience doing a lot of side events like that for a bigger TCG that has a big turnout.
Yeah.
I felt that a little bit going in. I felt a little bit like I needed to kind of get my sea legs, so to speak, to make sure I get in the flow of like how to get people here to there, whatever. And I'd say by the end of that Saturday, I was feeling pretty good about it. But also by the end of that Saturday, we were doing this like Carbonite booster draft sealed, or Carbonite booster sealed event. And I was just like helping a kid who, I don't know how old he was, this probably like 8 or 9 or something. I was like helping him build a deck with Carbonite packs because his dad was playing in the main event. And he's like, my dad always builds my deck for me. And I was like, okay, I don't know. I guess like, you know, which blue cards do you like? Let's put some blue cards, you know, like, so I was totally in a different zone at that point, just like trying to help a child have like a fun experience. But overall, like, again, shout out to Star City Games who do run a really good event and do everything they can to try and make it enjoyable for the players. And then shout out to the players who were just very patient with, I think, all of the staff that day. There was some it was really funny. There was some like booing when they announced that they wouldn't have the promos for everybody. And then they said, you're all getting a silver pack. And then like, everyone just literally like erupted in cheer. And it was like, I'm there too. I get it. Like easily appeased, I guess, players. So that was cool. But overall, great experience. Really enjoyed it. And I don't have like, I guess, a ton more to say about judging. the event.
Yeah, well, you came back Sunday, right? And that's when you really got your hands dirty.
Right.
You know,
So
so talk to us about your grand strategy. People want those prize packs. They want those goodies.
yeah, so on Sunday then, so the plan was Randy, our judge friend, also came with me. He was judging on Saturday as well. He stayed on the main event, but both of us were off on Sunday. So we got together and we were like, so the plan is to walk away with as many silver packs as possible. And actually, I did mention like the value of the packs, but I want to be really clear. I wanted these promos, and I've kept all my promos, and I actually went and bought some more promos to fill out sets of everything because I am a big enjoyer in the game. There's nothing wrong with cashing out, absolutely not, because traveling's expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just, it's cool to be able to sort of fund more travel or maybe fund your purchase of Secrets of Power through jwwcards.com. Pre-orders are up.
Nice,
Discount code MAINDECK for 5% off. It's cool to be able to fund all that by getting, doing well in an event and then selling some stuff and whatever. That's all cool. But I like the shiny cards. And so my goal was to try and get as many sets of everything as I could, get as many of the cool silver pack promos as I could. And I knew I needed to get prize wall tickets for that. So yeah, I guess this is like a strategy, right? This is your sector strategy to getting the most bang for your buck, the most value out of your events, assuming what you're going to do is play in the main event on Saturday. And then if you day two, then you don't need the strategy because you're going to play in day two and you're going to have a good time. But if you don't make day two, then how do you get the most value out of your event? Also, the final caveat is I don't know when they're going to change what they're doing, but they have done the events this way in multiple seasons now, a couple seasons in a row. And I assume they're going to kind of continue this as long as FFG doesn't reinvent the wheel for like promos and stuff, or this is probably going to be what they're going to do. My strategy to approaching Sunday is you want to sign up for the promo event. So there's a promo event. It usually starts at like 9, I think 9 or 10. No, 9, I think is when it starts actually. And it's a premier event, 4-round that rewards on entry a set of the basic promos. So this was a set of like the prize wall promos. So Gunji, Axe Wolves, Aura Sing, and some others, right? It's those ones. Those are the cheaper promos on the prize wall. They were like 200 tickets each, but you get a full set of them for entering, as well as you get 400 prize wall tickets per round you win on a 4-round event. And then you get an additional 400 prize wall tickets if you win all 4 rounds. Going into this event, I actually wasn't planning on playing it because we didn't have our strategy kind of lined up until the weekend. So I have to shout out KTOD and our friend Sunny D. I went over to Sunny, who day two'd the event as well, and just about made top. It was really sweet. Sunny, I said, Sunny, I'm going to play in this event tomorrow. Do you guys have like a deck you brought for like testing or whatever that I can play? Preferably a nice easy one that I don't have to like be like your level of skill in order to do well with. And he was like, we got this, we got Hantu Blue. And I'm like,
perfect.
That's the one, baby. I can Hantu Blue. I can put a cheap thing down with damage and then win the game because you didn't have the answer for it or whatever. So that's what I did. I actually went 3-0 the first 3 rounds. I was like, this is way different than in Denver when I played Thrawn Colossus and OX to the tournament. And then I went into the 4th round and then I won game 1 and I was like, oh baby. And I was like, this is going to be so easy. I'm going to 4X. I'm going to get so much value and I could go onto the podcast and be like, I 4-0'd the event. It was sweet. I'm not that bad of a player. And then I like totally fumbled. Game 2, I just like, they had the wrecker play. They were on Hantu ECL.
Okay.
So it was Hantu v Hantu. I was blue. They were ECL, and they had the wrecker play and dumped my board. And then they had the crate dragon, and I didn't. I was like, All right, what can you do? And then game 3, I'm pretty sure I misplayed like pretty hard into it. And then I think they wrecker played me again or something like. all right, yep, fair enough. Like, I get it. I'm rusty. I'm like, that's all good. It's what I get for playing multiple card games. And they did a great job. Obviously, like, they were a very clean player and took it. So incredible work. So they 4-0'd. So congrats to, I don't remember their name, unfortunately, but it's in Melee. But congrats to them for 4-0ing. They were great. All of my opponents all day were awesome. But here's the trick. Okay. So I would recommend always playing in the promo event. And then I would recommend, okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to recommend this as a judge, but I would also recommend dual queuing for the Spotlight deck event. The thing about the Spotlight deck event, it starts at noon, or at least it did at our event. The Spotlight deck event is one you have to sign up for in advance, because what the Spotlight deck event is 900 tickets.
Is a lot.
Guaranteed. Okay, just flat. But you have to be present at each of the 3 rounds. So it usually works out that you can play your 3rd round of the promo event, premiere event, sit down at the Spotlight deck and play as much as you can until your pairings are up, right, for the first round. Now, like, this is a little like it's not that bad. Like, it's what a lot of people are doing at the Spotlight deck thing. I would recommend playing as much as you can. As a judge, I want you to sit there and play this game, play with new players. But as a player looking to get tickets, you can kind of dual queue for that, because it's just a 1-round overlap. If your pairings go up, go get to your seat. Be polite, decline, concede to your opponent. But you want to be present. You want to play the event. Like, that's the big thing. As a judge, I need to tell you that you need to be present. You need to play. And I highly recommend that you do that. Don't just be, we had a draft that sits down and just says, we split the draft for like an on-demand. Like, that's not cool. Do not do that.
No.
But for the Spotlight deck battle, you're just, especially if they are a newer player looking to play, like, play as much as you can with them. Then get over to your round 4, play out your round 4 of the premiere event, and then play the rest of the Spotlight deck battle after that. There's just that one round where, it's a little dicey to try and fit them in, but it is allowed to do in Melee, to dual queue for the events. And it is something a lot of people are doing, and maybe you don't know about that, but that is something people are doing to get as many tickets as possible. Jason, that's something you've seen people doing?
Oh yeah. There was a lot of, Galactic's was interesting. It was a little different in that regard. The Spotlight event filled like instantly. Like, there was no shot. It was like, it's crazy. There was a lot of the, hey, we're going to split. Hey, we're going to split. And it was mixed messaging at first on, are we allowing that? Are we not? Stuff like that. It's one of those things that, yes, we are trying to get as many tickets as possible, but as arbiters, we are trying to make sure people are playing the game and enjoying themselves and having a good time. So that line had to get figured out eventually once we got around them. But yes, there was definitely a lot of people, especially at the Spotlight event, right? They would just go, and then they would, several people did play. Like, there were people actively playing, but not all 30. I think it was 32 they did at Galactics for the Spotlight. It was not all 32 players, that's for sure.
Yeah, and this is something that we're like dancing around, I think, just really lightly, because again, it's like, I want my main message from this to be, you definitely are able, because people do it, you're able to do some of these events in this way to get as many tickets as possible. But the most important thing is how you approach signing up for the events, because the last thing we want is for a bunch of people to sign up for the Spotlight event just to go, give me my tickets, I'm leaving. Right. And that's certainly not the point. The point is to play the game, and the point is to have fun. But at the same time, as long as this is allowed at the event, this is what is going to happen. And the point of doing and talking about the podcast here is just to say, this is what people are doing. And this is how you can kind of maximize your value in an event, as long as that's how they do it. And if Star City or FFG wants the Spotlight event to be for new players exclusively, there are things they can do to discourage this from happening.
Not
right?
900 tickets or whatever. That's a lot.
It's 900 tickets.
It's a lot.
It is, and it's guaranteed, and it's not based on, did I have a good run? Did KTOD give me a good deck to play or whatever, like, And I personally think like the best thing would be for this one Spotlight Deck event, which seems to be built for new players, to not be a 900 ticket event.
Sure.
And to instead maybe prop up on demands, but in a way where you encourage people to play or something, or like, I do want to build a culture of people playing in events, for sure. So, but yeah, it's like, it's currently in a weird spot where like, that's the best thing to do. The hilarious thing that happened is both Randy and I were signed up for both events, and I had finished round 3. And I went over to watch his game, and I was watching because I was like, us pairings are going to go up for the spotlighted event deck thing. And like, we might have to run over and be like, hey, your opponent's, I find his opponent, be like, your opponent's about to be here. He's on his way. He's just got to finish this game up. And then I looked at the pairings, and it was me and Randy. I was like, what are the odds of this happening? Well, like 1 in 32, I guess.
Yeah.
But so I just went over and I'm like, hey, don't worry, we're paired. So we'll go over there as soon as we're ready. And we sat down, we played a little bit until the final pairing went up for the promo event. But yeah, like I just want to be really clear. I'm not encouraging people at all to not play the game. I want you to play, and especially if you're with new players, you should play and have fun and teach them the game, and and have good moments like that. But as long as this is the system, gamers are going to game. And so we're just going to let you know that's what people are doing, going to those sectors right now to get those tickets. Like, honestly, I hope it changes. I hope that it's set up in a different way, or at least because one thing that's weird that happens with the Spotlight event is that it starts at noon. It finishes at 3, which is when on demand, or like, actually, I think on Sunday on demand event entry ends at 2. Mm-hmm. I think it's 2. It's 2 or 3.
Yeah, it typically is because they gotta, get out of there.
Right. But that means you can't enter in anything else anyway, unless you're going to try to do some real, like, I really don't recommend you try and do on demands at the same time you're doing Spotlight event. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Like, don't dual queue 2 completely concurrent events like that. It only works with the promo because it's right at the end. But let's just put the Spotlight deck at 1. And then you can just fully play out the promo event and then go to the Spotlight event if that's how you want to do that. And it doesn't really change anything from the perspective of, I mean, it's done when it's done. And you can't sign up for an on-demand event either way afterwards, Yeah.
I just think that my number one takeaway from all of this is lower the dang ticket amount you get for the Spotlight event. Holy moly, that's a lot of tickets.
I mean, that's at
Galactic's when everyone, or at the first, I think the first regional had it too, if I remember right. It was just one of those things that was like, oh my gosh, we have to that's free real estate right there, buddy. That's easy money. But hopefully everybody took away that you can get a bunch of cool stuff too. Much like Dan did. I didn't even know what he got. I didn't even know until he started talking about it.
So I ended up with, from the 3 wins in the promo, I had 1,200 tickets from that. Mm-hmm. And then I had 900 from the Spotlight event. So I ended up with 2,100. And then I was able to get 3 silver packs from that.
That's awesome.
From my day of play. Plus I got the promos for entering, and I got a Spotlight deck, which I opened nothing cool. But it was, it was great. I felt really good about the Sunday. I would have felt a little better if I won that final round.
Sure.
But I talked to other people. Like, I talked to Parker, who runs Swooty B, mm-hmm. and he was just grinding Twin Suns on demands all day.
Oh, sure.
And he told me I didn't get many tickets. And that's the thing, is like, if you do the Twin Suns on demand events, you're just not grinding tickets, right? Because you're going to spend a lot of time for probably only one of the 4 of you gets, like, I think an extra ticket or something. You just don't get a lot. If that's what you want to do, you're just doing it for fun, which is awesome. Like, highly encourage people to just come sign up for things, play for fun,
of course,
enjoy the game. But yeah, that's like that's currently, in my opinion, that's like the best in format strategy to get tickets for the way that Star City Games is currently setting up sector side events. And I think it's like because like I said, Galactic's was not run by Star City Games, and they had basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just how they're being set up right now. And that's my advice.
Cool. Well, thank you for that enlightening commentary. Hopefully you guys are going to go to your events and mop up that prize wall and get all the cool stuff you could ever dream of. I will not be that lucky because did I ever tell everybody what I got in my silver packs? The Triple Han Special? That was crazy. From Galactics.
That's right.
I got 3 silver packs and it was Han.
Wow.
It was and then I got 2 Ezras, I think, 2, and an Invisible Hand. So I really high rolled those packs.
That is the lowest roll you can get. That's pretty rough.
But it was fun, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So speaking of the end of the day, I think that's it. I think we got there. Thanks everybody for tuning into another episode of Galactic Ambition, part of the Main Deck podcast family. For Dan, I'm Jason. Have fun. We'll be back in 2 weeks. It's going to be pre-release time. We're going to get this product in our hands pretty soon. I'm really excited. We'll be able to talk about our excitement and so much more when we see you guys next time. So until then, you guys take care of yourself. Have a good one. Be well. Bye. See you later. Happy Halloween.
Play your games out.
Oh, yeah. Play your games out.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Play your games out. I concede. I'm like, get out of here.
Well, if you got to go, you got to go.
I'm also just going to lose. But see ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.